do not ever put yourself in a position where a man needs you. You think it'll be that if he needs you, he can't leave you. He absolutely will leave you. Or he'll just cheat on you while depending on you. He's an addict. He's an addict. He seems to really probably, I don't even know if he's ever really truly been sober. Because if you read some of the stuff that he was doing while they were engaged and dating, dude was still doing drugs and all kinds of stuff. That is according to one person he had an affair with, allegedly. So this man is like, she has been his mother, his sponsor, for lack of a better word. But the thing that pisses me off the most about this is that this man built his whole brand by being like, he wrote love songs about her. They were in all this stuff and she fell for it. This is why you have got, and you know what? She met him when she was super lonely and had no one to share it with. I'm going to show that interview in a bit. She had an Oscar and was like, I don't know who to, it's just me and my Oscar in our hotel room together. And then she ends up with this loser. Nobody knew who this guy was. Nobody knew, okay, I'm sorry. Most people outside of Australia didn't know who this guy was. Or maybe outside of Nashville, okay? Maybe he was kind of big in the country music scene, but how many country music fans are there truly? I am from Nashville, okay? Born and raised in Nashville, go back there to visit family. Well, not as much now that I live in France. I was just there in July. I hate country music, never listened to it. Every time I go home, you see billboards, you kind of get a feel for who's popular because, that's the center of country music. I mean, I didn't know who this guy was. Most people I know who had no idea who this fucker was until he married the most successful, high-paying actress in the world. This woman's career is phenomenal, okay? And what I think is crazy is that she married a man who was way above her in her career. And, they were like, this is going to kill your career being with him. Now you're just going to be his wife. She proved them wrong. So imagine going from having someone way more famous than you and who's an egomaniacal, crazy person who's in Scientology, and then he just leaves you. And then you're really lonely and you try a bunch of other things. And all she wanted to do, she wanted to be married so bad. She wanted kids and to be married so bad. And she said that in an interview. I'll show it later. And then, so instead of being like, well, it didn't work out well for her to date an egomaniacal, crazy man who is way above her in her career. So maybe, and this is where women get it wrong, maybe if I date down, maybe if I marry someone who is less successful than me, then he won't leave me. These men cannot handle that kind. It is very few men whose ego can handle dating way above their league. Because as soon as they get there, and especially if they become famous and have all this money and everyone, all these women are fawning over him because they're like, oh my God, he loves her so hard, cheat with me, right? Because women so badly want that's how we've been raised, whoever can win this prize. Now he's a prize. He's only a prize because of her. He was just like a cocaine and crack addicted alcoholic singer who was kind of starting to make it. And then as soon as he locked in with her and became a dad and a husband, now his career takes off, even though he literally goes into rehab for addiction within 4 months of them marrying. There were so many red flags in this relationship. I'm going to show you in a bit. Some interviews, all the red flags are there. His dependency on her, he worshipped her. But and that's why, please don't, I know, yes, you having a man who thinks you're amazing and all that stuff is important. But here's the caveat. He has to be a confident man. All these men who I'm telling you, the way they will just love you up and down, think you're amazing, they'll worship you, all that is not healthy for them to worship you. Should they think that you are just this amazing, incredible person? Absolutely. But if they are not confident, and if you are their whole world and they got nothing else, you will lose. You will get screwed. A man who thinks the world of you, who has no life and friends, true friends, and has no real self-esteem, that will not end well for you. And the fact that I just learned this from Cecilia Regina, I did not know that they had a cocaine clause in their prenup. A woman who's trying to control a man's addiction and has all these, he's going to do what he's going to do. And no prenup is going to keep him, maybe for a while. But now that the girls are in their teens, they're getting closer to 18, he has a empire with her. They have 11 properties across Australia and the United States. They are worth combined, I think, 400 or 500 million. This dude was a drunk when she met him. He was he's been fighting his addiction for a long time. And as somebody who's had addiction myself, and as somebody who has addiction in my family, and I know a lot, like I know addictions very well, and I'm not trying to shit on people with addiction, but I'm telling you, do not date a man with an active addiction or solid like years of recovery. This man, in an interview, I'll show you in a bit, said that when he met her, he was a loner. He apparently had been in a program which we're not even supposed to know about. They're supposed to be secret about that. They're not supposed to tell us. Public figures are not supposed to tell us. Literally Google it. Google it. They're not supposed to, because they're not. There's no spokespeople for these programs. But yeah, he openly talks about it. And then wasn't doing it. Was a total loner. Was not doing any of the stuff he was supposed to do to be sober, right? He was hanging on by a thread. Meets her. And now she's his new addiction. He even admitted it. She was his new addiction. If a man treats you, is like love bombing you, or is just like so into you so much, and it's just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, and he gets off on loving you, it is literally so you will love him back and feel a need, and he's addiction. Like, it is not what you think it is. So please, yes, you want, like, I can't tell you, like, because I have been in both extremes. The men who just completely ignore you and breadcrumb you and all that stuff, and that's how they control you. And then there's other men like this who are so insecure, and they control you by worshiping you. But literally, but you're like their son. They need you. They'll do all this stuff to make you feel so important, and then you start taking care of them like you're your mommy. Because both extremes, the guys who breadcrumb you and the guys who dote on you but have no self-worth and no self-esteem and are like, self-destructive, both of them lack any, like, they don't know themselves, they don't love themselves, they are constantly looking for escapism, and they use women to fill how dead they are inside. And it's not just men who do this, women do this a lot too, okay? We have, our relationship addiction stuff, we still do not take that seriously. I mean, some women, just like men, do not know how to be alone. Details are different. The harm done when men do this is way different than when women do. But either way, when you're dating from a place of just desperately lonely and don't want to be alone, and or in his case, like self-destructive and need a manager, don't know what to do if you're not on a stage getting attention or getting attention from a woman, you are not dateable. You're not dateable. Work out your relationship stuff in community and therapy with friends. But the amount of damage that happens in romantic relationships, in marriages, with sharing of finances and sharing of children, the amount of harm done when one or two people enters a relationship when they are a fucking mess and are just desperate, immeasurable. It'll ruin your life. Sometimes it'll literally take your life. You die from stuff like this, especially if they're violent. And luckily I don't know if he's violent or not. Anyway, being a pick-me, these men will humiliate you, especially when they need you.